So let's talk about the recount and DOJ's interest in it with Article 3 Project President Mike Davis and former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo. Welcome back to both of you gentlemen.
Hey, Shannon.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I want to read something. This was an opinion piece. Lori Roberts wrote this in the Arizona Republic. Says, fortunately, the Department of Justice is now asking questions. They should do more than ask. DOJ should get out here post haste to protect our ballots from whatever the heck is going on. Oh, and when you come, bring the guys in the white coats, will ya? Mike, why are the feds interested in this? It appears to be a state matter, but there are a lot of people who seem like they don't like it going on or how it's being done.
It's very interesting. We have this Pam Carland, who is a former ACLU attorney. She is a former liberal law professor. She was a partisan Democrat impeachment advocate against President Trump. During the impeachment, she got criticized for bringing in President Trump's 15-year-old son, Barron. She is now the top civil rights cop for the Department of Justice. And it's very interesting that she's she's sending this letter. I was just ask, where were these Democrats where were their concerns about ballot security before the election? This is Arizona trying to do an audit, and if there's no problems, what are they worried about?
So, John, a couple of things that she raises in her letter, because this is a state matter. The state Senate has gotten involved. They've subpoenaed. They are looking over ballots to see if there are discrepancies, if there are voter registrations for people who may not have actually voted. I mean, they're trying to go through and see. They may find nothing, but that's the purpose of this. A couple of things she said, though. One, they don't like that there are potentially other people outside of the chain of custody who now a private entity is looking through these ballots. She says that could potentially violate the law. And she also says part of what they're planning to do to either call or visit people to see if they match up with their voter registration, not to tell them how or ask them how they voted, but to ask them, did you vote? Was this your ballot? She says that potentially can be construed as voter intimidation, and it may be focused on minority voters who then may be discouraged from voting in the future. What do you make of her concerns?
Well, the one thing that you didn't mention that was not in Pam's letter was the mention of the Constitution. And the Constitution, unlike with House and Senate elections, the Constitution gives only to states and state legislatures the power to decide how to pick presidential electors. The federal government doesn't have a role. And so it's, of course, I think, good common sense for a state legislature to say, hey, let's see whether the election worked. Maybe we should improve things. We should change things for the next election. The only way I think that the federal government has any role at all is if, for example, a state of, say, the Jim Crow era were to go and try to harass Black or Hispanic or women voters to try to get them not to show up. There's no evidence at all that this is going on in Arizona. And instead, I'm afraid what this shows is that the Biden Justice Department, which was sold to us as led by a moderate president and a moderate attorney general, is actually being run by people who see a racist behind every tree.
I want to play something from a state rep out there in Arizona, Lorenzo Sierra. Here is what Representative Sierra said today.
This is a sham. I will not put up for people coming and intimidating people in my community. If they're going to do that, they're not going to be met with open doors. They're going to get slammed doors in their face.
So, Mike, what we're told is that people won't cooperate with this effort and that they shouldn't, and that it is about intimidation. What do you say?
Well, that's their choice. If they don't want to cooperate, they don't have to cooperate. I asked the Democrats who are opposing this, what are they afraid of? It's an audit. And if there aren't any problems with the Arizona election, they shouldn't be concerned.
Quick final word to you, John, on this.
I'm afraid that it's of a piece with a lot of other things that are going on with the Justice Department these days should have Americans very worried, which is that this Justice Department sees everything through a racial lens, whether it's police departments or now a state which is using its constitutional authority to pick its electors. I think it's actually insulting to the people of Arizona and their elected representatives that Washington, D.C. thinks everything they do is racist.
Well, they say out there in Arizona, the leaders that are overseeing this, it will continue. They're going to be thorough, they say, and publish the results. So we will all see what they find, if anything. In the meantime, Mike and John, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks, Shannon.